everybody, my name is Dinosaurs. Welcome to Dinosaurs, the channel which I have barely an idea of what I'm talking about, where I complain about all kinds of nerdy things. Stuff's not good. Wizards of the Coast, last year, we all know about Magic 30. That was a train wreck, a dumpster fire, a shit show, all in one. And they weren't done. There's been a leak of the new edition of the Open Gaming License that is coming out with OpenDnd. That is, if the leak is to be believed, is going to change how content is created for Dungeons and Dragons in the future. If I make a thing, then you can use it in D&D, like, hey, you can put this into your 5th edition games or whatever. And Wizards of the Coast can just go, cool, thanks, that's ours now.
Seize the assets.
Hey, that's my money!
It's kind of crazy because it's really reminiscent of what happened with Nintendo and Blizzard. And it's really fucked up that I think it is an accurate comparison to compare Wizards of the Coast to Nintendo and Blizzard. Nintendo hates you. That was a hashtag. Let's get that going again. Only now it's Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast hates you. They all hate you. You're money to them, you're a number, they don't care. Nintendo back in the day was like, yeah, make the games, yada yada, you like the games, you buy the games. And then everything on YouTube starts and Nintendo goes like, wait, people are, and I remember this started, the Subspace Emissary from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. They were getting pissy about people uploading that to YouTube because it was supposed to be like a contained, like, oh, you buy the game, you get to see the story. Nintendo didn't realize the internet had been out for a couple years. I still don't think they realized the internet exists. You know, that gets put on YouTube and they get all mad about it. It just kept, you know, snowballing from there. Much like Activision and Blizzard, something unique and valuable gets blown to bits by ignorant parasites in expensive suits. Exactly! Real quick, before I get too away from the Nintendo stuff, what happened with Nintendo, because I'll get to Blizzard after that. With Nintendo, they had all this stuff being uploaded online, and then a couple years later, they were like, okay, we're going to introduce the Nintendo Partner Program, and essentially all that was just, you are playing Nintendo games on YouTube, you're giving us free advertising, you bought the game, give us money. Back then, a lot of people on YouTube had a partner company or something, so they're going to take a cut, YouTube's going to take a cut. With Nintendo Partner Program, they're going to take another cut, and that cut's not small. So that's even more money you're losing from any YouTube video you make, and that was their whole shtick, was like, oh, you can just give us money, and then we're not going to copyright strike you and stuff. It's really scary to see that changeover, because before that, you're like, oh, Nintendo's, yay, Nintendo, you're so happy because Nintendo. And then they do shit like that, and then it's just so fucked. And then Blizzard, WoW was doing great, everybody was happy, everything was great, the games were coming out, it was so good, and then shit started going downhill really quickly. There was the lawsuit, you know, the board of directors isn't even firing Bobby Kotick, despite all the shit that's come out about him. That's why I still haven't played WoW, or like just touched Blizzard games since then. And I've heard the company's starting to unionize, which is good. Unfortunately, I don't know if they're still contracted, but during all the lawsuits, they had that one law firm that specialized in union busting. They had gotten them to do something else that wasn't union busting at the time, but there's probably, you know, I think Ian Hazzakostas used to work for them, so, you know, it's just a phone call away to be like, hey guys, can you bust this union real quick? So, that wasn't good. But the specific thing that I thought of when I heard about this Wizards of the Coast shit, there was Warcraft Refunded. So they come out with Warcraft 3 Reforged, and when they do, there's a bit in there, because here's the thing. Nintendo, much like Blizzard, I'm assuming saw people making money. And they were like, we want some of that. So, you know, you give your share to Nintendo, to Daddy Nintendo for the partner program, and then Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out, and when it does, you know, original Warcraft 3 had Dota, that exploded, became its own separate game, and as soon as Warcraft 3 Reforged hit, they immediately, like, first thing, like, we need to get this under wraps. No one's making Dota again without giving us a cut. They made sure to add that into the terms of service or something for Warcraft 3 Reforged. So, that was fucked. And now, you got Wizards of the Coast, last year trying to sell $1,000 randomized packs for their Magic 30th anniversary that you can't even play. You can't play them in any format. Did nobody think maybe we shouldn't charge $1,000 for this?
Money!
Because if they didn't, it would have been fine. It's like the main thing. Sure, randomized packs. People enjoy opening packs. It's a little loot boxy, but you know, that's what all the sets are now. But $1,000 for a chance at something is insane. Again, the fucking suits are just like, the whales will pay out the ass for it. So let's do it, I guess. And nobody did buy it. And on Twitter they said, Magic 30's out, guys. Happy Magic 30. Here's the packs. And then like an hour later they were like, hey, thanks for the Magic 30 thing. Sales have concluded. Basically confirming no one bought it. Or at least almost no one. It's literally that meme of the boardroom and the guy like says like, what if we just don't sell $1,000 card packs? And it gets thrown out the window. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter how much sense it makes to not do it. It's short-term money. And that seems to be the game plan with all these companies now. Nintendo, Blizzard, Wizards of the Coast, whatever. Is just, this will make us money now. And that's all we're thinking of. If they had just lowered the price of that product, they would have sold more than what they ended up selling, I think. Because I'm sure more people would have bought it by then. A lot of articles have come out with leaked info about Wizards of the Coast's new Dungeons & Dragons open gaming license. That is essentially saying, if you make D&D product, we want to cut. And there's a threshold of like 750,000, but that is changeable. They can lower that as much as they want. They could be like, oh well, you know, you're only making 5,000, 10,000, whatever from your thing, but we still want to cut because it's ours. There's an article that I have full admittance, I had seen somebody talking about this article. And I think it's a good one. I think every single person who plays D&D should be talking about this. If all of these leaks are accurate, this is going to shatter the entire Dungeons & Dragons community. And the more people talk about this and say this is not okay, the more Wizards listens. Wizards of the Coast has not been good. Hasbro has been worse. Combined, they have just run any product they have into the ground. They're releasing Magic every day. There's a new set every day. They're diluting everything. They tried Magic 30. Now they're doing this open gaming license for D&D. It's shit. It's all awful. The companies do not listen when you just complain and you're like, well, I guess this is it now. You know, you have to vote with your wallet by just not buying their shit. And that is basically the general consensus on Reddit, is from what I've seen. Just people like, you know, vote with your wallet, vote with your wallet, vote with your wallet. And every other post that wasn't that was Yarhar and we're a pirate, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean theme starts playing. It was a mess. If Wizard starts losing money and everyone starts mentioning this, like, hey, you fucked up with Magic 30. You know, you're doing this open gaming license and it's gonna ruin everything. I'm not going to buy your shit anymore. As if people start doing that, granted, a lot of people have to start doing that. That's a big ask. It's the suits. It's always the suits. Because the base level, that's the other thing I always see that I think I've seen every time something like this happens is like, well, think of the people that still work there. The base level employees. They still, you shouldn't not buy the product because then they are not getting paid. And I agree with that to an extent, but I also know that there is no base level employee that I could think of that wanted Magic 30, that wanted this new open gaming license, that thinks these are good ideas. No base level employee is going like, oh, thank God, we have a way to take away other people's content. There's been so much content coming out of D&D, third-party stuff, all these things, fucking Pathfinder is literally built off of 3.0 D&D, and now they're gonna have to start paying royalties because of that. And Wizards knows this. Why wouldn't, like, that? It's you get a cut of Pathfinder, and here's the big one. As soon as I heard about this was the first thing I thought of. The Critical Role Kickstarter made $11 million. Let's not forget that. That is an Amazon show now. It's got its second season coming up, and it is making bank. They have made enough money to get Amazon to greenlight their shit. Because when they were going around before, everyone was like, oh, you know, I don't really want to bet on this D&D thing. And then they go to Kickstarter, they make $11 million, and everyone's like, $11 million, you say? And Wizards was one of them. Wizards said $11 million, you say? And now they're trying to be like, well, you know, we've got that gaming license. We could just, you know, revoke that. If you're watching this on YouTube, this article is going to be in the description. This is a complex issue that is still unfolding. However, the main things you need to know are 1.1 is not good. 1.1 is the new one, and it is not good. OGL 1.1 is not an open license. It imposes many restrictions on the use of works Wizards of the Coast claims to own under relevant copyright law. If you're a third-party creator, the OGL 1.1 gives Wizards of the Coast a perpetual and irrevocable license to your works, so that Wizards of the Coast can fully exploit and allow others to exploit without additional permission from or payment to you. $750,000 threshold affects more than just large third-party creators and can be lowered at any time. And you can expect it to lower incrementally, oh my god, as Wizards of the Coast seeks to profit off third-party creator works. Wizards of the Coast is a cool company that publishes one of our favorite pastimes. However, they are not your friends. That is the main point here. They are not your friends. And if we do not find a way to hashtag opendnd, then it will probably diminish this incredible game we have come to love. It's just like Blizzard when they said, oh crap, Dota made all that money, and now we can't get it, so if anybody makes a thing with Warcraft 3 Reforged, it's ours. I was planning on making some kind of D&D content book that could be applied to 5e. I was going to make classes, or base classes, maybe new classes, and a campaign setting. It's all going to be in a nice book. I was probably going to sell it on DM's Guild or something. That was a few years down the line, mind you. I didn't want to say anything about that for the longest time, but now who knows if that's even going to happen, because why would I do that when Wizards can just take it from me whenever they want? It feels like they just want a slice of everyone's pie. And I get it. They made D&D. But this is not good. Like, let's take a Critical Role for an example. Critical Role, almost every Thursday, spends 4 hours playing Dungeons & Dragons. Playing Wizards of the Coast game with Wizards of the Coast rules and books and constantly promoting them and working with them. Not good enough. Wizards of the Coast still wants something. They're doing all this free advertising and they're still getting hit. So I can't imagine what's going to happen to anyone who's, you know, still making good D&D content and putting out good D&D product that may not be making as much Critical Role, but it's still, like, you know, good. And Wizards of the Coast is just going to be like, nah, we want some. Because we can now. Pathfinder. Maybe they should switch back to it. That was the other thing. As soon as this dropped, everyone was like, I guess Critical Role's just going to switch to Pathfinder. Because they started there, so, you know, might as well. Pathfinder is based on 3E. They have to put that in their books, like, hey, this is based on 3E, blah, 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 blah. They were under the old 1.0 OGL. That's what Pathfinder is under. So Pathfinder is not safe from this either. You've done the Blizzard thing, where they said, anything you do and make and stuff and everything is just ours now. So no one's gonna do or make anything. I think people have signed NDAs who have been notified of this, so no one can really say anything. Right now it's all, you know, news articles and leaked things and, you know, people making videos about everything. So none of it's official quite yet, but once the NDAs are over and once this becomes more known and everything, I think we're going to start to hear more and more and more. On one hand, I'm scared. On the other hand, I'm like, people cannot be okay with this. Yes, lots of dirty laundry will get aired once the suits have tanked the company. Yes! Yes! Oh my god. And 5, you're absolutely right. There's gonna be it's gonna be like such a shitstorm when all this stuff, like, when everything is official and comes out, it's gonna be insane. I don't know what's going to happen between, you know, like Critical Role and, because I think that's the one everybody's sort of watching, because they have a lot of like sway. It's entirely possible that Wizards of the Coast just cuts them a deal and it's like, hey, there's this thing we're doing and we're giving you this something to where you can just maybe not have to worry about it as much. Maybe we're gonna be nicer to you or something. I don't know what they're gonna do. But we're gonna see. It's gonna be interesting whatever happens. But if this leak is to be believed, it's not gonna be good for the average D&D player, because what this will do is it'll stop, you know, there's not gonna be any DMs Guild or like people making content or anything or any of this stuff. Your resources for D&D are gonna dry up real quick, because no one's gonna want to make, you know, content under this new open gaming license. So I think we just see what happens next and hope that the TTRPG world does not implode. Alright, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike it, you can just dislike it. Not that that matters anymore. But if you want to see when I go live, you can follow me on Twitter, and I post when I go live there. This was streamed originally on Twitch, so you can go follow my Twitch. All that's going to be in the description, as well as the article I briefly mentioned here. I think it's worth a read. I think everybody should be informed about this situation as it develops. It's very important. It's near and dear to all of our hearts. The Dungeons & Dragons community is an amazing place, and I don't think that people should be quiet about this. I think I presume we're going to talk about this, but the more people that are talking about this, the better. People need to be talking about this. People need to be saying, this is not okay, Wizards. This is not okay, Hasbro. Don't do this. This is bad. We don't like this, and we will stop buying your shit if you continue. Hashtag opendnd. I think that's it. Have a good day, everybody. Hopefully this shit is fixed. Bye!